All right, folks, so today we're down here in the Bristol 42 and we have our two Ford Lehman 120s naturally aspirated. Harold, is your finger in front of my camera?
Nope, can't see it in the picture.
Anyway, one of the things we're doing to these engines are we're going to detail them out, and then we changing out all the coolers. I think we got one cooler left. Harold's been working on that. And Harold is not a mechanic by trade, but he is learning to work on this boat, or if he doesn't work on the boat, then he's finding out that he can't get, it's not easy. This is what this week's video was about, was finding a vendor out here to work on your stuff. It's always an excuse of why you can't work. So he's learning that he has to take on some of these projects or it won't get done. It's that simple. And that's the same thing I'm learning with the Ranger, with any boat right here. But anyway, we're down here, we're gonna pull this, we have Knockers and Smoothie, and we're gonna pull the valve cover on Knockers this morning, and we're gonna check her for, we're just gonna check to make sure everything looks good in the valve trains and maybe see if we can see why Knockers is knocking. And that's all we're gonna do today, and possibly adjust the valves. If everything goes smooth and we don't have to pull, and it looks like we don't have to pull the rack, then we'll adjust the valves on Knockers, and we're gonna call Knockers good and ready to go for his trip to wherever he goes cruising this year. So anyway, the first thing we do here is I will pull all of the screws for the valve covers, and then we'll pull this valve cover and see what we see. We'll have to start the engine and see what's going on with this thing. See if we can figure out why Knockers is knocking.
I did.
I'm gonna grab the flashlight, Harold, and then I'm gonna look at the valve train right here, and then I'm gonna have you start the engine.
All right, yep, that's what you do.
All right, so I'm ready to start the engine here, and then we're just gonna check our oil flow, make sure we got good oil flow, and if everything looks good, we'll check a couple valves, and if it looks like it's adjusted correctly, then we will move on and just put the valve cover back on it, and it is what it is. All right, go ahead, guys. Looking for is making sure we had, you saw it in the video just previously, we're making sure we got oil coming down these right here to go to, and that spreads over the valve, and then we're making sure we have oil coming down our lifter tubes right here, which we checked all those and everything looks good. So this engine actually looks good. We're getting the proper oil flow, and that's all we really wanted to check today. All right, Harold, so you can crank it, and we're gonna go to 8 and 10 open, which are these two right here. Keep going. All right, you should be getting close right there. Okay, I think that's it. Okay, now we got 8 and 10 open. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then 9 and 10. Both of these are open. And then we're gonna go, and now we can adjust exhaust 3. So 1, 2, 3. So this one right here, I can feel it, it's open, and I'm turning that little cap right there. So I'll stick the feeler gauge right underneath here. So that's the first one we'll adjust. Now 5 intakes. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we can feel that right there. So those are the two that we'll adjust. And 3 exhaust is 12. So that's our small one. That's this one. 1, 2, 3. So we've heated the engine up, and now we're gonna get the socket for this guy right here, and then we're gonna go ahead and adjust these valves. It has, I didn't realize that. I thought they said somebody had adjusted these valves, but it's been since 2018. And when we just checked all of our valves, they were they weren't all lined up. They didn't all feel perfect. So we're just gonna go ahead and readjust them one at a time. Let's try and pull the wrench off this time when we go to adjust the valves. All right, so first thing I want to do here is we want to get number open 1 and 6. No, this is a 4. We want to open 1 and 4. So we want this one and So we want 1, 2, 3, 4. We want these two open. So go ahead and start that close. So you guys can see that closing right there. Both valves are completely closed right now. We want them completely open. Okay, so you can see that number 4 opening up. Now number 1 is opening up. Keep going, nice and slow, nice and slow. Keep going. A little bit more. I think that could be it right there. Maybe just a little. All right, I think that's. Maybe just a little more, Harold. Keep going. Keep going. A little more. Nope, go back. Sorry, Harold.
No sweat.
All right, now go the other way. Sorry.
No sweat.
All right, that's, I believe, it right there. Okay, so you saw that each one of these valves, we just adjusted each one and went through and made sure that each one did need a little bit of adjustment. Not about half of them needed adjustments on it. So we're happy to come over here and adjust the valves. And this is what, like, this is the 1,000-hour service on this engine right here. So we got all new oil coolers. This one has a brand new heat exchanger, oil coolers, and it's had its valves adjusted. So, I mean, that's about all Harold can do. And then we'll finish detailing this engine out over the next coming days. And this engine should be good to go, man. I don't think I would do anything. I would just run it, and we'll do the valve adjustment on this one next, just to make sure, because that, again, it's a 1,000-hour service. Harold will probably not put 1,000 hours on this boat the entire time he owns it, because that, you got to remember, doing America's Great Loop is only 600 hours. So that's like 6,000 or 7,000 miles. He just won't do it. Harold, I think it was easier. My job of adjusting the valves was easier than yours of cleaning the old valve cover gasket off.
I don't know. This is not a walk in the park.
No. I think the valve adjustment was easier than that.